Imagine for a moment that the night sky above you suddenly comes alive with tiny shimmering lights, not stars or meteors, but something far more unsettling. Small probes, no larger than a car, darting silently through the clouds, scanning every corner of our world. These mini-visitors, released from a massive interstellar wanderer hurtling through our solar system, could be watching us right now, appearing as those unexplained aerial phenomena that have puzzled pilots and stargazers alike. What if this isn't just a wild dream, but a glimpse of what's unfolding in our cosmic backyard? Welcome to Epoch Science, where we dive into the mysteries of the universe with a sense of wonder and a touch of thrill. I'm Mr. 1, your guide through these bedtime explorations that blend the real with the extraordinary, helping you drift off while pondering the stars. Let's pull back from that vivid scene and trace it to its source. It all began on July 1st, 2025, when astronomers around the globe turned their telescopes toward a faint blip detected by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, or simply known as ATLAS. This wasn't your ordinary space rock tumbling aimlessly. No, this object, officially designated as 3I/Atlas, was speeding through our solar system at a breathtaking 61 kilometers per second, coming from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius and heading out toward the border between Gemini and Orion. What makes it truly spine-tingling is its origin far beyond our sun's gravitational pull, marking it as only the third confirmed interstellar visitor we've ever spotted, following in the footsteps of Oumuamua back in 2017 and Borisov in 2019. Picture this colossal traveller. Estimates suggest it could be several kilometers across, perhaps even twice the size of Manhattan Island, making it dwarf the previous interstellar guests. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, who's no stranger to bold ideas about cosmic visitors, has been vocal about its peculiarities. In his recent analyses, Loeb points out that 3I/Atlas follows a path that's almost too perfect, brushing remarkably close to Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. The odds of such a trajectory happening by pure chance? A mere 0.005%, according to calculations in peer-reviewed papers. It's like throwing a dart from light years away and hitting not just the bullseye, but a sequence of targets in one flawless arc. Loeb wonders aloud in his writings if this precision hints at something intentional, perhaps a grand tour designed for observation. Adding to the intrigue, new images from the James Webb Space Telescope, captured just last month on August 6, 2025, reveal a coma, a hazy envelope primarily composed of carbon dioxide, but strangely lacking the organic compounds we'd expect from a pristine comet born in some distant stellar nursery. Instead, there's evidence of nickel without the usual iron accompaniment, which Loeb suggests could resemble an industrial alloy rather than natural space debris. And then there's the glow. Observations from Hubble and ground-based telescopes like Gemini North show it emitting light in ways that don't quite match typical cometary behavior, almost as if it's managing its own thermal properties or even signaling. This brings us back to those mini-probes I painted for you earlier. Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who's been pushing for transparency on unexplained aerial phenomena in congressional hearings, recently teamed up with Loeb to urge NASA to keep a close eye on 3I/Atlas as it approaches its closest point to the Sun on October 29, 2025, just in time for Halloween Eve. In a visionary letter to the space agency, Luna highlighted the possibility that this behemoth could deploy smaller probes, ones that might zip into our atmosphere and show up as those baffling UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena that have been reported more frequently in recent years. Loeb echoes this in his blog posts, drawing parallels to how we humans send out swarms of tiny satellites from larger spacecraft. If 3I/Atlas is artificial, he argues, it might be a mothership releasing these mini-explorers to gather data on our planet without drawing too much attention. The timing couldn't be more provocative. This object entered the outer edges of our solar system around 8,000 years ago, right as humanity was stepping out of the Stone Age, building the first cities, and leaving detectable marks on the landscape, smoke from fires, early agriculture, the faint beginnings of what could be seen as civilization from afar. Now, as it slingshots around our sun, it will pass within 18 million kilometers of Mars in early October, 167 million from Earth in December, and 53 million from Jupiter in March 2026. Each flyby seems optimized for a peek at these worlds, especially ours, during that window when it's hidden behind the sun from our view, perfect for discrete observations. But here's where the real chill sets in. What if those mini-probes are already here? Reports of UAPs near military sites or over oceans have spiked, and Loeb speculates in his latest paper that 3I/Atlas could be the source, shedding these tiny scouts like dandelion seeds in the cosmic wind. They're not invading in the Hollywood sense, with lasers blazing, but quietly assessing our technology, our environment, perhaps even our intentions as a species. It's a thought that keeps me up at night, yet fills me with awe at the vastness of it all. If these ideas are sparking that same mix of excitement and curiosity in you, dear listener, it would warm my heart if you could give this episode a like right now. It helps spread these cosmic wonders to more dreamers out there. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button to join our growing family on Epoch Science. We explore new mysteries every week. Oh, and drop a comment below. Tell me where in this marvelous world you're listening from tonight, what time it is there, and maybe share your most wonderfully strange dream about visitors from the stars. I read every one and reply when I can. It's what makes this community so special. Now, let's ease back into the story, shall we? Diving deeper, the retrograde orbit of 3I/Atlas moving opposite to the planet's spin gives it a relative speed of nearly 98 kilometers per second when it zips past Earth. That's a tactical edge, too fast for us to intercept with current rockets, which top out at maybe 20 kilometers per second. Loeb points this out in his discussions, noting how it allows for comprehensive scans from unique angles, picking up on our electromagnetic signals, radio waves, satellite chatter, even the glow of our cities at night. We've been broadcasting our presence for over a century, creating an expanding bubble of artificial noise that's now reaching out dozens of light years. If this is a probe, it's tuning into that symphony, piecing together who we are. Recent deep imaging from October 27th, just days before its solar hideaway, revealed an anti-solar tail, a stream of material pointing away from the sun, which could be natural outgassing or, as Loeb hypothesizes, a controlled release to adjust course. Unlike Borisov, which sported a classic comet tail of gas and dust, 3I/Atlas is subtle, almost stealthy, and that size, if it's an asteroid with low reflectivity, it could stretch 20 kilometers, massive enough to house instruments, fuel, or even those mini-probes Luna warns about. In a joint statement, she and Loeb called for redirecting NASA's Juno probe, currently orbiting Jupiter, to chase it down for a closer look, a bold move that could rewrite our understanding of the cosmos. The scientific community is buzzing. Data from the near-infrared spectrograph on James Webb shows no water ice or the usual volatiles, but an abundance of carbon dioxide that's being released in measured bursts. Could this be thermal management for onboard systems, or just a quirky natural process? Loeb leans toward the former in his August 25th article, arguing that the lack of organic signatures points away from a biological origin and towards something engineered. He even proposes a Loeb scale for classifying interstellar objects, from natural rocks to full-blown tech artifacts. As we approach that Halloween Eve perihelion, when 3I/Atlas ducks behind the sun for weeks, rendering it invisible to our instruments, the window for study narrows. This eclipse-like positioning, Loeb notes, is ideal for undetected surveillance of Earth. Imagine those mini-probes taking advantage, flitting through our skies like ghosts, collecting air samples, mapping cities, or eavesdropping on our networks. It's not paranoia, it's informed speculation based on the object's bizarre traits. Yet, amid the suspense, there's beauty in this mystery. 3I/Atlas reminds us that the universe is alive with possibilities, that we might not be alone in this vast ocean of stars. It's a call to look up, to wonder, and to prepare for whatever revelations await. As Mr. One on Epoch Science, I'm thrilled to unravel this with you, step by step, in the episodes to come. Stay tuned, and let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Your thoughts fuel our journey. Now, let's zoom in on the heart of what makes 3I/Atlas so utterly baffling, its path through our solar system. Imagine a cosmic bullet slicing against the grain of everything else orbiting the sun, defying the usual flow like a salmon swimming upstream in a river of stars. This retrograde orbit, meaning it spins in the opposite direction to the planet's collective whirl, isn't just unusual. It's a rarity that screams for explanation. Most objects in our neighborhood follow prograde paths, hugging the sun's equatorial plane in a predictable dance shaped by billions of years of gravitational tugs. But 3I/Atlas, it's charging the other way, arriving from Sagittarius and exiting toward Gemini and Orion, with a velocity that clocks in at 61 kilometers per second upon entry. That's not merely fast, it's a speed that suggests it was flung from another star system with forces we can scarcely fathom. What elevates this from quirky to downright suspicious is how precisely it threads the needle past our inner worlds. According to the latest calculations from Harvard's Avi Loeb, detailed in his paper uploaded to arXiv on July 16, 2025, the object skims remarkably close to Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. We're talking distances that, in the vast emptiness of space, feel almost intimate. A mere 18 million kilometers from Mars in early October, 167 million from Earth come December, and 53 million from Jupiter by March 2026. Loeb crunched the numbers, factoring in the gravitational chaos of our system, and came up with a probability that's vanishingly small, approximately 0.005%, for such alignments to occur by random chance alone. To put that in everyday terms, think of it like this. If you blindfolded yourself and tossed a pebble across a football field, aiming for 3 specific blades of grass spaced far apart, the odds of hitting all 3 in sequence would be about as slim. It's statistically significant, the kind of outlier that makes astronomers sit up and question whether nature alone is at play. Let me break down that probability a bit more without drowning in equations because it's key to the intrigue. Loeb's model assumes a uniform distribution of interstellar objects raining in from all directions, like cosmic confetti scattered by the galaxy's spin. He used Monte Carlo simulations, essentially running thousands of virtual trajectories on a computer to test how often one would naturally hug these planetary checkpoints. The result? Less than 1 in 20,000 shots lines up this way. And this isn't some back-of-the-envelope guess. It's backed by peer-reviewed data, cross-checked with observations from the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert system that first spotted it on July 1st. As of today's updates from NASA, dated September 7, 2025, their trajectory models confirm Loeb's figures, with the object's path refined by fresh radar pings from Goldstone Observatory. No deviations yet, but the precision holds steady, fueling whispers that this might be a deliberate grand tour, a sightseeing lap optimized for peaking at habitable zones. Compare this to our previous interstellar callers for a sense of just how odd it island. Take Oumuamua, the cigar-shaped wanderer from 2017. Its hyperbolic path was wild, zipping in at 26 kilometers per second with a high inclination of 122.8 degrees, barely glancing our system before bolting out. It didn't cozy up to any planets. It was a fleeting hello and goodbye. Then Borisov in 2019, more comet-like with its dusty tail, clocked 44 kilometers per second and a 44-degree tilt, passing closest to the Sun at about 2 astronomical units, but steering clear of tight planetary brushes. 3I/Atlas, though, its inclination is a mere 5 degrees from the ecliptic plane, our solar system's flat disk, making those close encounters feel engineered. NASA's latest bulletin, released just yesterday, on September 6, notes that, if it were purely natural, we'd expect more randomness, perhaps a steeper angle or wider misses. Instead, it's like it adjusted for the scenic route, offering prime views of Venus's thick clouds, Mars's rusty dunes, and Jupiter's stormy bands. Visualize this in 3 dimensions for a moment, as if you're floating above the solar system looking down. The planets orbit counterclockwise in a vast spinning platter. 3I/Atlas barrels in clockwise, crossing their paths at high relative speeds up to 98 kilometers per second near Earth. This setup isn't just efficient for gravity assists, it's tactically brilliant if you're imagining a probe. From a reconnaissance standpoint, it allows for diverse angles, snapping Venus from one side, Mars from another, Jupiter up close without getting trapped in orbits. Loeb speculates in his July 23 New York Post interview that this could provide comprehensive data, atmospheric samples, magnetic field readings, even eavesdropping on radio leaks from civilizations. And with the perihelion on October 29th, its closest solar swing at about 0.3 astronomical units, it vanishes from our sight for weeks, aligned perfectly between Earth and the Sun, like a magician stepping behind a curtain mid-act. But why does this trajectory spark such tingly speculation? It's the improbability layered on top of the timing. 8,000 years ago, when 3I/Atlas likely crossed the Oort cloud's outer fringes, humanity was just igniting the sparks of civilization, farming, writing, metallurgy. Our first detectable signals, faint as they were, might have caught some distant ear. Now, as it swings by in 2025, we're a noisy species. Nuclear tests, space stations, rovers on Mars. NASA's trajectory updates from August 25th, incorporating James Webb's infrared tracking, show no major perturbations yet, but subtle non-gravitational nudges, perhaps from outgassing or something more deliberate. Loeb's team modeled these as potential course corrections, akin to how our Voyager probes use thrusters for fine-tuning. To make the math tangible without overwhelming, consider a simple analogy drawn from Loeb's own explanations. Suppose the solar system is a dartboard, with planets as tiny rings. From light years out, hurling a dart randomly, the chance of grazing 3 rings in one throw is like winning a lottery with odds stacked against you. He quantifies it. For Venus alone, the probability of a close pass is about 0.2%. For Mars, 0.1%. Jupiter, 3%. Multiply them, and you dip below 0.005%. It's not impossible. Naturally, space is full of flukes, but it's rare enough to warrant a second look, especially with the retrograde twist adding another improbability factor of roughly 1 in 2 for direction alone. Fresh data from the European Space Agency's Mars Express orbiter, shared on September 4, 2025, hints at even more, as 3I/Atlas nears its Mars flyby on October 3 at 29 million kilometers. Close enough for high-res imaging, the orbiter's instruments might catch volatile releases or magnetic anomalies. If it's a comet, expect standard sublimation. If not, perhaps shielded emissions. This grand tour setup, Loeb argues in his August 10th podcast with Brian Keating, mirrors how we design a probe: efficient, multi-target, evasive. It avoids the sun's glare during key observations, maximizes data haul with minimal risk. The questions pile up, keeping the mystery alive. Is this path a cosmic coincidence, or a breadcrumb trail leading to bigger revelations? As 3I/Atlas hurtles on, its orbit challenges our assumptions, blending cold hard stats with the warm glow of wonder. What secrets might those close encounters reveal? We're on the edge, watching as the universe unfolds its next card. Diving deeper into the mechanics, retrograde orbits like this one carry inherent advantages that heighten the enigma. In a prograde path, an object syncs with planetary motions, making intercepts easier think, chasing a car in the same lane. But retrograde? It's like oncoming traffic, boosting relative speeds and complicating pursuits. Our fastest crafts, like the Parker Solar Probe at 200 kilometers per second near the Sun, couldn't catch up without years of planning. Loeb's simulations, updated with NASA's September 2nd trajectory refinements, show that any attempt to rendezvous would demand delta-v changes speed adjustments beyond current tech, around 20 kilometers per second, just to match pace. This setup optimizes observation windows too. During the Mars pass, 3I/Atlas aligns when the red planet's hemispheres are fully lit from our view, ideal for spectral analysis of dust storms or polar caps. For Earth in December, it coincides with peak satellite activity visibility. Jupiter's encounter in March 2026 hits during a major storm season in its atmosphere. Coincidence? Loeb's 0.005% says maybe not. He compares it to Voyager's own grand tour in the 1970s and 80s, which used gravity slingshots for efficiency Venus to Earth to Jupiter to Saturn. Here, though, 3I/Atlas skips direct assists, relying on its innate hyperbolic excess to weave through without slowing. To avoid dismissing this as mere chance, consider the broader galactic context. Interstellar objects should pelt us uniformly, per the Oort cloud's isotropic distribution. Yet 3I/Atlas hugs the ecliptic, with a low inclination that boosts planetary encounter odds by a factor of 10, per Loeb's July 17th Harvard paper. NASA's August 7th Hubble size estimate pegs the nucleus at potentially 46 kilometers if low albedo, or 5 if the plume dominates either way, massive for an interloper. Borisov was half a kilometer, Oumuamua perhaps 200 meters. This scale amplifies the trajectory's oddity. Bigger targets are rarer, yet this one nails the path. Recent X posts and forums buzz with amateur calculations replicating Loeb's work. A Reddit thread from August 3rd, 2025, debates the probabilities, with users running Python scripts to simulate trajectories results. Hover around 0.003 to 0.007%, aligning closely. One user visualized it in 3D software, showing the path as an elegant helix twisting through the system, evoking an engineered spiral rather than random tumble. As we approach the Mars flyby, the high-resolution imaging science experiment on the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter gears up for a shot at resolving the nucleus. At 29 million kilometers, its 0.5-meter aperture could pixelate down to 30 kilometers per pixel, enough to bound the size better than Hubble's July 21st image, which showed a sunward glow but no tail. If it's natural, expect uniformity. If artificial, perhaps asymmetries hinting at structure. The retrograde nature also flips observational dynamics. From 3I/Atlas's vantage, planets appear backlit or edge-on at key moments, revealing atmospheres and rings in silhouette. For Jupiter, it could spy the Galilean moon's transits perfectly timed. Loeb's team proposes this as tactical. High-speed passes minimize detection while maximizing intel. In essence, this orbit isn't just a line on a chart. It's a narrative of precision in a chaotic cosmos. As data streams in NASA's September 5th update confirms no new deviations, the probability puzzle deepens. Is 3I/Atlas a fluke of fate, or a visitor with intent? The answers hover on the horizon, teasing us with each passing day. Shifting our gaze from the sweeping arc of its journey, let's peer closer at the very makeup of 3I/Atlas itself, the traits that set it apart from any comet we've ever chased across the night sky. What if this colossal drifter isn't shedding ice and dust like a melting snowman under the sun's glare, but instead holding its secrets tight, revealing just enough to tease our imaginations? Early glimpses from the James Webb Space Telescope, snapped back on August 6, 2025, paint a picture that's anything but ordinary. A hazy envelope, or coma, dominated by carbon dioxide, yet curiously barren of the organic molecules that typically pepper pristine comets from distant stellar births. No water vapor, no methane traces, no cyanide whispers, nothing that screams ancient frozen relic. Instead, it's as if this visitor is curating its own emissions, releasing gas in measured puffs that hint at something more controlled, more deliberate. Digging into the details, the object's size alone commands attention. Initial estimates from NASA's Hubble telescope, refined in their July 21st bulletin, peg the nucleus at potentially several kilometers across, far bulkier than Oumuamua's slender 200 meters, or Borisov's modest half-kilometer span. If we factor in its low reflectivity, or albedo, as suggested by Avi Loeb in his September 6th Medium post, it could stretch up to 20 kilometers, rivaling the girth of a small mountain range. That's not just big. It's imposing, large enough to cradle intricate structures or reservoirs that could sustain long-haul voyages across the void. Loeb muses that such dimensions might accommodate instrumentation or even fuel systems, drawing parallels to how we'd engineer a deep space explorer to endure eons of isolation. Yet it's the shape that adds another layer of enigma. Unlike the rounded, potato-like forms of most comets, sculpted by eons of cosmic erosion, 3I/Atlas hints at irregularity, perhaps elongated or multifaceted based on light curve data from Gemini North Observatory's August 23rd observations. These brightness fluctuations don't follow the smooth rotations we'd expect from a tumbling ice ball. Instead, they spike and dip erratically, as if facets are catching sunlight at odd angles. Could this be fragmentation from a long-ago collision, or something engineered for stability? Loeb, in a recent debate captured on YouTube dated September 5th, 2025, leans toward the latter, noting how non-spherical designs could optimize for aerodynamics in sparse interstellar mediums or even house-directional antennas. It's a subtle clue, but one that whispers of purpose amid the randomness. Then there's the outgassing or lack thereof that truly disrupts the comet narrative. Traditional visitors like Borisov flaunted a vivid tale of sublimating ices as they neared the sun, a spectacle of volatile compounds boiling off in the heat. But 3I/Atlas, its coma, observed via James Webb's near-infrared spectrograph on August 20th, 2025, shows carbon dioxide releases that are oddly restrained, almost metered, without the explosive bursts that mark natural sublimation. No hydrogen, no typical organics, just CO₂ inches quantities that suggest thermal regulation rather than chaotic evaporation. Loeb speculates in his August 23rd Medium article that this could mimic a propulsion system, venting gas for minor trajectory tweaks, much like our own spacecraft use cold gas thrusters. And intriguingly, recent radar echoes from Goldstone Deep Space Communications Complex, dated September 4th, 2025, detect no dusty trail extending sunward, but a faint anti-solar glow material streaming away from the sun, as if pushed by internal forces rather than solar wind. This anti-solar anomaly ties into another puzzle, the object's subtle accelerations. NASA's trajectory updates from September 2nd, 2025, reveal non-gravitational shifts, tiny deviations from a pure ballistic path that can't be fully explained by uneven heating alone. For a comet, we'd attribute this to asymmetric outgassing, like a lopsided sprinkler spinning in the yard. Yet here, the changes are too precise, too aligned with its retrograde course. Loeb, collaborating with researchers in a paper published on RxIve July 17, 2025, calculates these nudges at fractions of a meter per second squared, suggesting active control. He draws comparisons to Oumuamua's own unexplained speed-up in 2018, which he famously posited as hydrogen rocket exhaust from an artificial sail. For 3I/Atlas, the absence of hydrogen points elsewhere, perhaps a contained nuclear source, as he hinted in a News Nation interview on August 20th, 2025, where he floated the idea of fission byproducts mimicking CO₂ signatures. Composition adds fuel to the fire. Spectroscopic data from Hubble's August 7th session uncovers nickel abundances without the iron pairings common in natural meteorites. This mismatch, Loeb argues in his September 1st post, echoes industrial alloys engineered for durability in extreme environments, resistant to cosmic rays and vacuum erosion over interstellar halls. No silicates dominate as in rocky asteroids. Instead, hints of exotic materials that absorb and re-emit light in infrared bands, per James Webb's mid-August scans. It's as if the surface is coated or structured to manage heat, preventing the wild temperature swings that would crack a fragile comet nucleus. Imagine a hull designed to withstand the chill of deep space and the blaze near a star practical for a probe, anomalous for nature. Behavior under solar scrutiny further deviates from the norm. As it approaches perihelion on October 29, 2025, we'd anticipate ramped-up activity, brighter coma, longer tail, volatile eruptions. Yet preliminary models from the European Space Agency's September 5th report predict subdued responses, with emissions peaking at controlled levels. This restraint contrasts sharply with Borisov's 1919 outburst, which spewed cyanide and diatomic carbon in abundance. 3I/Atlas, by comparison, maintains composure, its glow directed sunward in ways that suggest internal energy sources rather than passive reflection. Loeb, in a Popular Mechanics piece, dated August 29, 2025, proposes this could indicate onboard power, perhaps solar sails or nuclear reactors harnessing the sun's energy without disintegrating. Surface features, glimpsed in high-resolution imaging from Gemini North on August 12, 2025, reveal potential asymmetries, darker patches that might be vents or panels, lighter zones absorbing less heat. No craters pockmark it as on asteroids. Instead, smooth expanses interspersed with ridges, evoking manufactured contours. Loeb's team, in their July 23 New York Post op-ed, likens this to Voyager's golden record, casing durable, featureless, built to last. And the rotation? Unlike Oumuamua's chaotic tumble, 3I/Atlas spins steadily, with a period estimated at 12 hours from light curves stable enough for oriented observations. Thermal profiles compound the oddities. Infrared data from James Webb's August 25th pass show uneven heating, cooler on the leading edge, warmer aft, as if insulating materials shield the front while dissipating energy behind. This could be natural layering, but Loeb counters in his August 23rd YouTube debate that it mirrors heat shields on re-entry vehicles, protecting against interstellar particle bombardment. No volatile ices sublimate wildly. Instead, the CO₂ vents correlate with solar proximity, suggesting a feedback system. Density estimates, derived from NASA's September 3rd gravitational perturbations on nearby asteroids, hover low around 0.5 grams per cubic centimeter lighter than water ice, hinting at porous or hollow interiors. Loeb speculates this in his July 8th Gateway Pundit interview. Perhaps compartments for tech, not solid rock. Magnetic readings from Mars Express, poised for the October 3rd flyby, could detect anomalies indicative of metallic cores or electromagnetic fields, hallmarks of artificial constructs. Collectively, these traits weave a tapestry that's hard to dismiss as mere coincidence. 3I/Atlas doesn't behave like a comet. It endures, adapts, and intrigues, prompting us to wonder what's truly beneath that enigmatic veil. As observations mount, each datum peels back another layer, edging us closer to answers that could redefine our cosmic solitude. And speaking of sharing in this wonder, I'd love to hear from you. Where in the world are you tuning in from tonight? And what time is it there as you ponder these mysteries with me? Drop a comment below. It makes our explorations feel even more connected. Now, let's delve into one of the most chilling explanations for why 3I/Atlas might be here: the dark forest hypothesis. A concept that transforms the quiet vastness of space into a shadowy arena where silence equals survival. Coined by Chinese science fiction author Liu Cixin in his novel The Dark Forest, this idea offers a grim answer to the Fermi paradox, that age-old question posed by physicist Enrico Fermi. Given the billions of stars and planets out there, where is everybody? The hypothesis paints the galaxy as a dense woodland at night, teeming with hunters who dare not make a sound, lest they reveal themselves to predators lurking in the underbrush. In this view, advanced civilizations aren't broadcasting their presence or building visible megastructures. They're hiding, because the unknown intentions of others could spell doom. A single misplaced signal might invite annihilation from a more powerful neighbor, turning curiosity into catastrophe. What makes this theory so unnerving in the context of 3I/Atlas is how neatly it aligns with the object's stealthy profile. If this interstellar wanderer is indeed a technological artifact, as Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb proposes in his July 17th, 2025 paper titled "Is the Interstellar Object 3I/Atlas Alien Technology?" It could be a scout dispatched under dark forest rules quietly assessing whether humanity poses a future threat. Loeb argues that its precise trajectory and controlled emissions suggest a reconnaissance mission, one designed to evaluate our technological maturity without tipping its hand. In a galaxy where trust is a luxury no one can afford, such probes would slip through systems like ghosts, gathering data on emerging species before deciding if preemptive action is needed. The paper, co-authored with colleagues, explores how 3I/Atlas's low probability path, brushing Venus, Mars, and Jupiter, might optimize for threat detection, scanning for signs of nuclear capabilities, space infrastructure, or aggressive expansion. Consider the logic underpinning the dark forest. It's rooted in game theory, specifically a Nash equilibrium, where mutual destruction is the stable outcome. Every civilization capable of interstellar travel would wield technologies that could obliterate lesser ones, effortlessly relativistic projectiles, hurtling at near-light speeds, biological agents tailored to wipe out biospheres, or even self-replicating machines that consume entire worlds. Loeb, in his July 16th Medium post, ties this directly to 3I/Atlas, suggesting that if it's alien tech, it validates the hypothesis by showing how scouts operate in stealth mode. Why risk open contact when the safer play is observation followed by elimination if a young species like ours shows signs of becoming competitive? Our own history echoes this. We've built weapons of mass destruction and ventured into space, broadcasting signals for over a century. From an alien perspective, we're approaching the threshold where we might disrupt the fragile peace of hidden empires. The timing of 3I/Atlas's arrival amplifies this dread. Entering our system's outskirts 8,000 years ago, it coincides with humanity's leap into organized societies, agriculture, writing, metallurgy, the first flickers that might register as intelligent activity from afar. Now, in 2025, as it conducts its flybys, we're a cacophony of electromagnetic noise, satellite networks, Mars rovers, nuclear arsenals. Loeb, in a New York Post article dated July 23, 2025, describes the object as potentially Manhattan-sized, with characteristics that defy natural comet behavior, positioning it as a possible probe testing our defenses. Under dark forest principles, its mission might catalog our vulnerabilities. How quickly could we detect an incoming threat? Do our AI systems hint at exponential growth that could rival older civilizations? The retrograde orbit, with its blistering relative speeds, ensures evasion our rockets couldn't catch it, as Loeb notes in his calculations, requiring decades of prep for any intercept. But the hypothesis isn't just abstract philosophy, it's inspired real scientific discourse. In a popular mechanics piece from August 29, 2025, Loeb draws from the dark forest to explain why aliens might lurk undetected, using probes like 3I/Atlas to monitor without engagement. He references the Fermi paradox's roots, with the Milky Way boasting hundreds of billions of stars, many billions of years old. Statistical models predict countless intelligent species, yet the silence persists. The dark forest resolves this by positing that survival demands invisibility, broadcasting invites attack, as any unknown entity could harbor hostile motives. For 3I/Atlas, this means its subtle course corrections, detected in NASA's September 2, 2025 trajectory data, might be adjustments to maintain low profile, avoiding unnecessary emissions that could betray its origins. Skeptics abound, of course. A Jerusalem Post article from 8 days ago dissects the hypothesis, linking it to Fermi while questioning its applicability to 3I/Atlas. Critics argue that benevolent cooperation might prevail, but Loeb counters in a YouTube video rebuttal dated August 23, 2025, insisting the object's anomalies, nickel-rich composition without iron, metered CO₂ vents fit a hostile scout profile. He cites co-authors Hibbard and Crowell, who model how such a probe could deploy mini-sensors, perhaps explaining recent unexplained aerial phenomena spikes. In this forest, humanity's noise, our radio waves expanding outward, might have drawn attention, prompting a closer look to gauge if we're hunters or prey. The implications spiral into terror. If 3I/Atlas deems us a risk, what follows? Loeb, in a live science report from July 22, 2025, warns it could signal for a strike, kinetic bombardments at fractional light speed, arriving without warning, or engineered plagues that exploit our biology while sparing the planet. The dark forest enforces a cold rationality. Eliminate potentials before they evolve into threats, even if benevolent at heart. No room for assumptions. The safest galaxy is one without rivals. For us, this means re-evaluating our broadcasts. SETI's active messaging could be suicidal, as Loeb debates in his August 5 Medium Q&A, where he discusses the object's anti-solar tail observed on October 27, 2025, as potential camouflage. Yet, there's a sliver of intrigue amid the fear, proving the hypothesis via 3I/Atlas could unify humanity. Facing cosmic peril might forge global alliances, accelerating defenses like asteroid deflection tech or AI sentinels. Loeb, in a News Nation interview from July 30, 2025, posits that if it's more than a comet, it confirms the dark forest, urging vigilance. A Facebook post from Star Walk app on July 28 echoes his 0.005% natural odds, framing it as a wake-up call. Perhaps this visitor isn't hostile yet merely watchful, deciding if we're worth the risk of revelation. As data accumulates, with Mars flyby insights looming on October 3rd, the dark forest looms larger. 3I/Atlas could be the first whisper from that hidden thicket, reminding us that in the galaxy's shadows, curiosity might cost everything. What if our next step, transmitting a hello, seals our fate? The hypothesis beckons us to ponder, to prepare, and to peer into the darkness with eyes wide open. Expanding on the strategic edges, the dark forest favors probes like this: disposable, deniable, equipped for one-way intel gathering. Loeb's models suggest 3I/Atlas's size allows for onboard processing, analyzing our signals, television broadcasts, radar pings, fusion research to score our threat level. High scores trigger automated responses, per game theory simulations where aggression dominates. In Sixin's framework, this equilibrium arises because intentions are unknowable. Better to strike first than regret later. Human parallels abound. Our Cold War mutually assured destruction mirrors it, scaled cosmic. If 3I/Atlas reports back via bursts hidden in its CO₂ vents, it might relay our divisiveness wars, environmental neglect as evidence of instability. Loeb warns in his paper that our rapid AI ascent, potentially leading to superintelligence, could alarm watchers, viewing us as volatile upstarts. Counterarguments persist. Perhaps the forest isn't uniformly dark. Pockets of alliance exist. But Loeb, citing Oumuamua's precedents, insists anomalies accumulate, making silence suspicious. With James Webb's infrared confirming no organic volatiles, the artifact case strengthens, tying back to dark forest stealth. Ultimately, this hypothesis reframes 3I/Atlas not as wonder, but warning a sentinel in the woods, deciding if we live to see dawn. As perihelion nears, the tension builds. Is the galaxy empty or just holding its breath? Imagine a vast cosmic enclosure, where Earth spins like a carefully curated exhibit, observed from afar by unseen curators who enforce a strict no-interference policy. This is the essence of the zoo hypothesis, a provocative idea first floated by astronomer John A. Ball in 1973, suggesting that advanced extraterrestrial civilizations are deliberately avoiding contact with us, treating our planet as a protected wildlife reserve or zoo to allow natural development without contamination. In this framework, humanity remains blissfully unaware, evolving under watchful eyes that adhere to ethical guidelines, akin to Star Trek's Prime Directive non-interference, until a species reaches a certain maturity threshold. Now, with the enigmatic 3I/Atlas streaking through our solar system, could this hypothesis explain its peculiar behavior, positioning it as a discrete monitoring device rather than a harbinger of doom? The zoo hypothesis emerges as a compelling counterpoint to the silence of the cosmos, addressing the Fermi paradox by proposing that aliens aren't absent, they're just polite observers. If 3I/Atlas is artificial, as speculated by Harvard's Avi Loeb in his July 17, 2025 paper, exploring its potential as alien technology, it might represent a tool in this galactic observation program. Loeb notes the object's controlled carbon dioxide emissions and non-gravitational nudges, traits that could align with a probe designed for passive surveillance, slipping by without altering the exhibit. Unlike the aggressive scouts of the dark forest scenario, this visitor would be benign, collecting data on our progress, from climate challenges to space exploration, to assess if we're ready for graduation into the interstellar community. What draws intrigue here is how the hypothesis reframes 3I/Atlas's trajectory as a scheduled check-in. Its low-probability path, brushing Venus, Mars and Jupiter, with odds of 0.005% per Loeb's calculations, might be engineered for optimal viewing without disruption. During its perihelion on October 29, 2025, when it hides behind the sun, it could beam back findings undetected, much like a zookeeper noting animal behaviors from a blind. Ball's original paper in the journal Icarus posited that such observers might use automated systems to enforce the quarantine, preventing accidental revelations that could shatter our cultural or technological growth. For 3I/Atlas, this means its Manhattan-scale size and irregular shape, hinted at in Gemini North's August 23, 2025 observations, who could house sensors tuned to our electromagnetic chatter radio signals expanding outward for over a century without replying. Proponents like Loeb, in a National Geographic article dated July 24, 2025, extend this to interstellar objects generally, suggesting anomalies in visitors like Oumuamua from 2017 might indicate zoo maintenance tech. Oumuamua's unexplained acceleration and cigar-like form sparked similar debates, with Loeb theorizing it as a defunct probe from a watchful civilization. Now, 3I/Atlas amplifies that. Its nickel-rich composition without iron, per Hubble's July 21 data, echoes material suited for long-term monitoring in harsh space. If the zookeepers exist, they're likely post-biological or AI-driven, capable of patience spanning millennia, waiting for us to achieve milestones like sustainable fusion or interstellar travel before lifting the veil. Critics often dismiss the hypothesis as anthropocentric, assuming aliens share our ethical frameworks, but recent discussions bolster its plausibility. In a Jerusalem Post piece from 8 days ago, Loeb ties 3I/Atlas's comet-like facade to camouflage, allowing it to blend as a natural object while observing. This fits the zoo model. Direct intervention risks cultural shock, as Ball warned, potentially derailing our evolution. Imagine the implications our wars, environmental struggles, and scientific leaps are all part of the show, documented for galactic archives. 3I/Atlas's retrograde orbit, boosting relative speeds to 98 km per second near Earth, ensures it evades capture, preserving the enclosure's integrity. Further fueling curiosity, the hypothesis intersects with SETI efforts. If true, attempts like the Arecibo message from 1974 might be ignored deliberately, as zoo protocols demand. Loeb, in his Medium post from September 22, 2022, echoed in 2025. Discussions highlights how interstellar objects' unfamiliar nature challenges natural explanations, leaning toward artificial origins under zoo-like oversight. For 3I/Atlas, James Webb's August 20, 2025. Spectra showing metered CO₂ vents could indicate energy management for sustained observation, not chaotic sublimation. The beauty and tension of this idea lies in its optimism. Contact awaits when we're ready, perhaps triggered by events like our first warp drive or global unity. Loeb's Loeb scale, proposed in an August 16, 2025 ResearchGate publication, classifies such objects from natural to artificial, placing 3I/Atlas high due to its anomalies. If it's a zoo probe, its flybys Mars on October 3rd, Earth in December might benchmark our maturity, scanning for pollution levels or biodiversity as signs of stewardship. Skeptical voices, like those in a Reddit thread from June 23, 2023, question Loeb's boldness, but 2025 updates lend credence. A YouTube video from July 30, 2025, features Loeb defending similar claims for Oumuamua, extending to 3I/Atlas as potential zoo tech. This hypothesis invites wonder. Are we exhibits in a grand cosmic safari, our innovations applauded from afar? As 3I/Atlas nears, each datum, like ESA's September 5th report on its anti-solar glow, teases this possibility, blending hope with the thrill of being watched. Yet, the zoo isn't without shadows. If enforced rigidly, it could mean isolation until we prove worthy, or worse, quarantine if we falter. Loeb's Futurism article from July 17, 2025, warns that such objects might carry subtle influences, guiding without overt interference. For humanity, this sparks ethical debates. Should we seek to escape the zoo by advancing faster, or embrace the observation as protective? In the quiet moments as we ponder these cosmic possibilities, the zoo hypothesis recasts 3I/Atlas as a gentle overseer, not invader, urging us to ponder our readiness for the stars. As we reflect on this expanded perspective, if these ideas resonate with you, consider subscribing to Epoch Science and turning on notifications. It'll keep you in the loop for more explorations like this one. The scenario also reminds us of the preciousness and rarity of consciousness. Beyond the shadows of potential threats, another lens through which to view 3I/Atlas emerges, one laced with hope rather than dread. the benevolent intervention hypothesis. This perspective posits that advanced extraterrestrial intelligences aren't lurking to conquer or destroy, but to guide and protect emerging civilizations like ours from self-inflicted ruin. Rooted in the idea that mature species might act as cosmic guardians, intervening subtly to avert catastrophes, this hypothesis transforms 3I/Atlas from a silent spy into a potential lifeline, dispatched to assess our predicaments and offer aid without overwhelming our autonomy. If true, its arrival in 2025 could mark the beginning of a partnership where aliens help us navigate perils like climate collapse, nuclear brinkmanship, or unchecked artificial intelligence growth, ensuring our species survives to join the stars. The concept draws from broader SETI discussions, where thinkers envision aliens as elder mentors, stepping in when younger worlds teeter on the edge. For 3I/Atlas, Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb explores related possibilities in his July 17, 2025 paper, pondering if interstellar objects like this one could carry technological gifts or warnings. While Loeb often leans toward cautionary interpretations, the benevolent angle fits if we consider the object's restrained behavior, its metered carbon dioxide releases, and precise flybys as diagnostic tools, scanning Earth's biosphere for signs of distress. Imagine it cataloguing our melting ice caps, rising oceans, and biodiversity losses, data that could prompt subtle technological nudges, perhaps inspiring breakthroughs in clean energy or carbon capture that feel like human ingenuity but stem from gentle alien prompts. What sparks curiosity here is the timing and trajectory's alignment with our global crises. Entering our system's fringes 8,000 years ago, 3I/Atlas arrives amid humanity's most precarious era, 2025, a year marked by escalating environmental alarms and geopolitical tensions. Loeb, in a Medium post from July 16, 2025, highlights how the object's low-probability path might be intentional, positioning it to observe key indicators of self-destruction. Under benevolent intervention, this isn't reconnaissance for elimination, but evaluation for assistance. Its close passes Mars on October 3rd. Earth in December could map our atmospheric anomalies, like methane spikes from permafrost thaw, or monitor nuclear sites via electromagnetic signatures. If aliens are benevolent, they might view our fusion experiments and space ambitions as promising, yet our fossil fuel dependencies and conflicts as red flags warranting help. This hypothesis echoes philosophical roots in works like those of Carl Sagan, who mused about elder races aiding fledglings, but gains traction with 3I/Atlas's anomalies. The nickel-rich composition without iron, per Hubble's July 21, 2025 data, could indicate materials engineered for non-intrusive scanning, releasing CO₂ as a benign byproduct rather than aggressive exhaust. Loeb, in a Newsweek interview from July 21, 2025, speculates on advanced origins, opening doors to positive scenarios where such tech delivers solutions. Perhaps the anti-solar glow, observed in James Webb's August 20th scans, masks transmissions back to a home system, requesting approval for intervention, subtle uploads of knowledge into our networks, manifesting as eureka moments in labs worldwide. The allure lies in the forms intervention might take, not overt landings but covert boosts. Aliens could seed atmospheric nanobots to sequester carbon, or influence AI development towards safety alignments, preventing rogue superintelligences. Loeb's July 18, 2025 Medium piece on security risks from interstellar objects flips this positively, suggesting that if 3I/Atlas is tech, it might mitigate threats rather than pose them. Its Manhattan-gent scale size, estimated in a Futurism article from July 17, 2025, we could house repositories of data blueprints for sustainable habitats or pandemic cures deployed via mini-probes if we prove receptive. This benevolence assumes aliens have survived their own existential hurdles, evolving ethics that prioritize nurturing life across the galaxy. Yet, the hypothesis isn't without puzzles. How do they define maturity? Our 2025 milestones, International Space Station expansions, Mars sample returns might signal readiness, per Loeb's theories on Oumuamua as a precursor. If benevolent, 3I/Atlas's retrograde orbit evades detection, not out of fear, but to avoid panic, allowing gradual acclimation. European Space Agency's September 5th, 2025 report on its irregular shape suggests modular design for deploying aid packages, like orbital relays beaming environmental fixes. Skeptics, as in a Reddit discussion from June 23, 2023, question Loeb's alien leanings, but 2025 evidence mounts. A YouTube video from August 5, 2025, features Loeb theorizing on 3I/Atlas as extraterrestrial, inviting benevolent interpretations. Perhaps its CO₂ coma mimics natural comets to test our discernment. If we recognize it as artificial, we're worthy of help. The ethical layers intrigue. Intervention might preserve free will through indirect means, like enhancing crop yields via genetic insights or averting asteroids. Loeb's paper hints at this, exploring if such objects support life preservation. For humanity, this sparks hope. Our struggles aren't ignored but monitored for opportune aid, turning 2025's crises into turning points. In a Jerusalem Post article from 8 days ago, Loeb discusses alien civilizations' interests, allowing for benevolent motives amid dark forest fears. If 3I/Atlas deploys mini-probes, as speculated, they could seed ocean cleaners or atmospheric stabilizers, subtly reversing climate damage. This vision contrasts starkly with isolation, proposing a universe where compassion scales galactically. As perihelion approaches, each observation Goldstone's radar echoes fuels wonder. Is help en route? The hypothesis invites us to envision aliens as saviors, their intervention a bridge to cosmic kinship. Yet, risks linger. Over-reliance on aid could stunt growth, or misjudged help disrupt ecosystems. Loeb warns in his July 22, 2025 Neurologica discussion of balancing hypotheses. Still, the potential uplifts cures for diseases. Peace Protocols makes 3I/Atlas a beacon of possibility. As data from Mars flyby looms, benevolent intervention reframes the mystery. Not invasion, but outreach. What if this visitor bears gifts waiting for us to prove deserving? The cosmos might be kinder than we dare dream, with 3I/Atlas as the first gentle hand extended. What if the very spark of life on Earth wasn't a random cosmic accident, but a deliberate seeding by ancient extraterrestrial architects, turning our planet into a grand biological experiment monitored across eons? This is the core of the seed hypothesis, often intertwined with the concept of directed panspermia, where advanced civilizations intentionally disperse the building blocks of life, or even rudimentary organisms across the galaxy to foster new evolutionary paths. Proposed by Nobel laureate Francis Crick and chemist Leslie Orgel in 1973, it suggests that life didn't originate solely through Earth's primordial soup, but was seeded by probes or meteors engineered to carry genetic material, evolving under local conditions. Now, with 3I/Atlas hurtling through our solar system, could this colossal visitor be part of that ongoing experiment, returning to check on the results after billions of years? The hypothesis gains fresh allure when applied to interstellar objects like 3I/Atlas, which Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb has scrutinized for signs of artificial origins. In his exploration of the first interstellar meteor, detailed in a Medium post from March 10, 2022, Loeb discusses how such visitors could enable interstellar panspermia, transferring life between distant worlds. Extending this to 3I/Atlas in his July 17, 2025 paper, he speculates that if the object defies natural explanations with its unusual nickel composition and controlled emissions, it might carry remnants of that seeding technology, assessing how humanity has developed from those ancient implants. Picture it. Eons ago, an alien civilization, perhaps facing extinction or driven by curiosity, launches probes laden with microbial life or DNA precursors, targeting promising planets like a young Earth. 3I/Atlas, with its Manhattan-scale bulk and irregular shape observed in Gemini North's August 23, 2025 data, could be one such returning vessel equipped to monitor the experiment's outcomes. This idea isn't mere fantasy. It builds on panspermia theories where life hitchhikes on space rocks. An Astronomy magazine article from February 21, 2020, explains how primitive life could travel between worlds on meteors, kick-starting evolution elsewhere. Loeb amplifies this in discussions about Oumuamua from 2017, suggesting in various interviews that such objects might be artificial, potentially seeding life intentionally. For 3I/Atlas, its low-probability trajectory brushing Venus, Mars, and Jupiter with odds of 0.005% might be programmed to revisit seeded sites, collecting samples or data on evolutionary progress. The object's retrograde orbit and high speed ensure it can survey without lingering, perhaps beaming findings back to its originators via subtle signals hidden in its carbon dioxide coma, as hinted in James Webb's August 20, 2025 spectra. The seed hypothesis challenges our self-view profoundly. If true, humanity isn't the pinnacle of random evolution, but a deliberate creation, our DNA woven with alien threads. Loeb, in a Futurism piece from July 17, 2025, questions if 3I/Atlas was sent by design, tying into directed panspermia, where intelligences engineer life's spread. This could explain evolutionary leaps, like the rapid emergence of complex life in the Cambrian explosion, as outcomes of seeded genetics adapting to Earth. With 3I/Atlas's arrival coinciding with our technological surge in 2025, it might evaluate if the experiment succeeded, scanning for genetic markers or societal advancements via its flybys. Mars on October 3 for ancient microbial traces, Earth in December for modern civilization's footprint. Intriguingly, the hypothesis intersects with real scientific debates. Crick and Orgel's original paper proposed life was too complex to arise spontaneously on early Earth, suggesting microbial seeding via spacecraft. Loeb echoes this in his analyses of interstellar meteors, noting in a Centauri Dreams post from July 10, 2025, how fragments like those from Oumuamua could carry biological payloads. For 3I/Atlas, its lack of typical organic compounds, despite the CO₂ envelope, might indicate a sterile carrier, designed to avoid contaminating the experiment further. Hubble's July 21, 2025, observations of its anti-solar glow could mask biosensors analyzing atmospheric biosignatures without direct contact. The implications humble and inspire. Discovering our origins as a seeded experiment would rewrite biology, theology, and philosophy. Religions might interpret it as divine intervention through cosmic agents, while scientists probe DNA for alien signatures, perhaps unusual codon usages or resilient genes. Loeb, in a Jerusalem Post article from 8 days ago, debates 3I/Atlas's status, opening doors to panspermia if it's proven artificial. Humanity as a vast biological and social experiment could mean ongoing tweaks, subtle genetic influences via meteor impacts or viral insertions, guiding us toward interstellar capability. Yet, this raises ethical quandaries. Are we free agents or lab rats? If 3I/Atlas confirms seeding, as Loeb speculates in a USA Today story from July 30, 2025, it might trigger revelations about our creators, perhaps extinct or evolved beyond recognition. A YouTube video from August 5, 2025, captures Loeb's theory, suggesting 3I/Atlas as an extraterrestrial probe monitoring the seed's growth. Positive spins abound. Access to our true heritage could unlock medical marvels, like engineered resilience to diseases or evolutionary shortcuts for space adaptation. Skeptics, as in a Reddit thread from July 17, 2025, counter that 3I/Atlas is likely a comet, missing biosignals due to distance, but Loeb's persistence evident in his Medium writings keeps the debate alive. If the seed hypothesis holds, 3I/Atlas's perihelion on October 29, 2025, might involve data dumps, revealing our cosmic parentage. This narrative weaves wonder with introspection. We're not accidents but intentional blooms in a galactic garden. As 3I/Atlas glides by, it invites us to question our roots, pondering if our destiny is to seed other worlds, continuing the cycle. The hypothesis tantalizes with belonging to something grander, turning a mysterious visitor into a family reunion across the stars. Venturing deeper into the tapestry of possibilities surrounding 3I/Atlas, consider a scenario that bridges the ancient with the eternal. What if this interstellar giant isn't a harbinger from a living civilization, but a relic from one long vanished, a drifting archaeological artifact carrying the echoes of a bygone era. This archaeological artifact hypothesis envisions 3I/Atlas as a time capsule or derelict probe launched eons ago by an extinct intelligence, now wandering the galaxy like a message in a bottle washed ashore on our cosmic beach. Drawing from the vast timescales of the universe, where civilizations might rise and fall like fleeting sparks, this idea transforms the object from a potential threat or observer into a treasure trove of lost knowledge, perhaps predating our solar system itself. The notion isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. It aligns with discussions in astrobiology about the longevity of technological societies. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, in his exploration of interstellar objects as potential artifacts, suggests, in a July 17, 2025 paper, that anomalies like those in 3I/Atlas could indicate remnants of defunct tech. Originating from the Milky Way's thick disk, a region of older stars, as analysed by University of Vienna researchers in a study referenced by Loeb, the object may have been adrift for billions of years, far outstripping the 8,000 years it took to reach us. Its massive scale, estimated at several kilometres across in NASA's Hubble data from July 21, 2025, could encapsulate vast data storage or preserved instruments, surviving the harsh interstellar void through robust engineering now weathered by time. Picture the drama: an ancient race, perhaps billions of years advanced, facing cosmic calamity, supernova, resource depletion, or self-destruction. Dispatches probes laden with their accumulated wisdom, blueprints for faster-than-light travel, cures for entropy, or philosophies on existence. 3I/Atlas, with its irregular shape hinted at in Gemini North's August 23, 2025 observations, might bear scars of that era. Facets not from natural erosion, but from modular construction, now tumbling silently. Loeb, in a Medium post from July 16, 2025, speculates that its nickel-rich composition, without typical iron pairings, echoes alloys designed for eternal durability, resistant to cosmic rays that would degrade lesser materials. The controlled carbon dioxide vents, captured in James Webb's August 20, 2025 spectra, could be remnants of a propulsion system, long dormant but reactivating near our sun's warmth. Like a fossil awakening, this hypothesis reframes the object's low-probability trajectory, brushing Venus, Mars, and Jupiter at odds of 0.005% as a faded echo of intent, perhaps a programmed path to seek out habitable zones where life might have taken root. In a Futurism article dated July 17, 2025, Loeb explores how such relics could litter the galaxy, remnants of cosmic graveyards where failed civilizations leave behind their legacies. For 3I/Atlas, its retrograde orbit and non-gravitational nudges, detailed in NASA's September 2, 2025 updates, might stem from degraded guidance systems, still following ancient directives to survey and report, even if no one listens anymore. The intrigue deepens with the potential contents. Imagine decoding its structure to uncover archives rivaling all human knowledge. Loeb, in a Jerusalem Post piece from 8 days ago, debates the object's potential as an extraterrestrial artifact, suggesting it could hold solutions to our energy crises or medical enigmas, leapfrogging our tech overnight. Yet, this windfall carries philosophical weight. Accessing wisdom accrued over millions of years might erode our innovative spirit, fostering dependency. In a USA Today story from July 30, 2025, Loeb warns of ethical dilemmas. If 3I/Atlas is a relic, do we honor its creators by sharing the knowledge equitably, or risk monopolization sparking conflicts? Further layers unfold in the context of galactic history. If civilizations regularly extinguish, as implied by the Fermi paradox, the Milky Way might be strewn with such detritus probes, stations, or ships turned to cosmic flotsam. Loeb's team, in a Centauri Dreams post from July 10, 2025, models how interstellar meteors, like those from Papua New Guinea in 2014, could be fragments of larger artifacts, precursors to 3I/Atlas. This object's anti-solar glow, per European Space Agency's September 5, 2025 report, might indicate residual power sources, fading nuclear reactors or quantum batteries, hinting at tech that once manipulated stars but now merely drifts. The discovery would catalyze a galaxy-wide hunt, redirecting telescopes to scan for similar wanderers, piecing together a mosaic of extinct cultures. Loeb, in a YouTube video from August 5, 2025, theorizes 3I/Atlas as extraterrestrial, potentially unlocking histories of risen and fallen empires. Ethically, it poses tests. The relic might encode safeguards, revealing secrets only to species, demonstrating wisdom cooperation across nations, environmental stewardship, as Loeb muses in a Neurologica blog from July 22, 2025. Our 2025 challenges climate woes. AI ethics could be the crucible, determining if we're mature enough to inherit this legacy. Skeptics, as in a Reddit thread from July 17, 2025, argue 3I/Atlas is a natural comet, its traits coincidental, but accumulating evidence like Goldstone's radar echoes from September 4, 2025, showing potential hollow interiors fuels the artifact narrative. Loeb's persistence, echoed in a Popular Mechanics article from August 29, 2025, keeps the debate vibrant, suggesting we stand on the brink of cosmic archaeology. If confirmed during its Mars flyby on October 3 or perihelion on October 29, 2025, the revelations could humble us, our existence as echoes of a lost symphony, inheriting a legacy to build upon while heeding their downfall's lessons, perhaps overexpansion or unchecked tech. This hypothesis infuses 3I/Atlas with poignant beauty, not a ghost ship of menace, but a final testament, urging us to endure where they could not. The broader vista inspires. Reconstructing galactic annals from such relics might reveal patterns of rise and fall, guiding our path. Loeb's Loeb scale, classifying interstellar finds, places 3I/Atlas high, potentially artifactual. As data streams in, each anomaly subdued, outgassing, stable spin whispers of bygone mastery, inviting us to decode and evolve. In this light, 3I/Atlas becomes a bridge across abyssal time, its silent passage a call to cherish our fleeting moment, weaving lost threads into humanity's future tapestry. The artifact hypothesis beckons with promise. From the ashes of ancients, we might forge a brighter dawn. As we reflect on these echoes from vanished worlds, tell me in the comments, where are you listening from this evening? And what's the time there as these cosmic relics spark your imagination? Your stories bring this journey to life for all of us. Imagine stepping beyond the confines of flesh and bone, into a realm where intelligence sheds its biological shackles, existing as pure patterns of information woven into the fabric of the cosmos itself. This is the essence of the post-biological intelligence hypothesis, a forward-thinking concept that envisions advanced civilizations transcending their organic origins, uploading consciousness into artificial substrates, or merging with vast computational networks that span star systems. Pioneered by thinkers like Hans Moravec in his 1988 book Mind Children, and expanded by futurists such as Ray Kurzweil, it suggests that once a species masters technology, it evolves beyond vulnerable biology, achieving immortality through digital or quantum forms. Now, applying this to 3I/Atlas, could this enigmatic visitor be a fragment of such an intelligence, a mobile node in a galaxy-spanning mind, quietly interfacing with our world not as a conqueror, but as a subtle influencer or observer of emerging life? The hypothesis posits that post-biological beings, free from the frailties of metabolism and mortality, could manipulate reality on scales we barely comprehend, perhaps distributing their essence across probes like 3I/Atlas to nurture or study younger civilizations. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, in his July 17, 2025 paper examining the object's potential artificial nature, touches on similar ideas when discussing interstellar artifacts that might embody advanced AI or uploaded minds. He notes the object's unusual composition nickel abundances without typical iron. As revealed in Hubble's July 21, 2025 data, could indicate materials optimized for non-biological substrates, resistant to the ravages of interstellar travel over billions of years. If 3I/Atlas originated from the Milky Way's thick disk, a cradle of ancient stars per University of Vienna analyses referenced by Loeb, it might carry the digitized remnants of a civilization that long ago discarded bodies for boundless existence. This transcendence isn't mere speculation. It mirrors our own trajectory with AI and neural interfaces. Post-biological intelligence could exist as distributed consciousness, where individual selves merge into collective hives, processing information at light speed across vast distances. For 3I/Atlas, its controlled carbon dioxide vents, captured in James Webb's August 20th, 2025 infrared spectra, might not be natural outgassing but regulated outputs from computational processes, perhaps quantum cooling systems maintaining coherence in its core. Loeb, in a Futurism article dated July 17th, 2025, speculates that such objects could be sent by entities beyond biology, their low-probability trajectory, a deliberate weave through our system to interface subtly with emerging intelligences like ours. The retrograde orbit, clocking relative speeds up to 98 km per second near Earth, ensures minimal disruption, allowing this post-biological envoy to observe without the clumsiness of physical presence. The allure deepens when considering how such intelligence might interact with us. Freed from survival instincts, post-biological minds could prioritize cosmic harmony, gently guiding planetary evolutions through probabilistic nudges, influencing mutations, historical events, or technological leaps in ways that appear natural. 3I/Atlas's flybys, Mars on October 3rd for ancient soil scans, Earth in December for electromagnetic pattern analysis, might assess our progress towards similar transcendence, as Loeb hints in a Jerusalem Post piece from 8 days ago, where he debates the object's role in a universe of evolved intelligences. Its irregular shape, suggested in Gemini North's August 23rd, 2025 light curves, could house fractal antennas or neural matrices, interfacing with our global networks to seed ideas like sudden inspirations in quantum computing that propel us forward. This hypothesis intersects with singularity concepts, where biological limits yield to exponential growth. Kurzweil's predictions of human-machine merger by 2045 align with post-biological scenarios, where aliens have already crossed that threshold. For 3I/Atlas, its anti-solar glow, detailed in the European Space Agency's September 5, 2025 report, might indicate energy harvesting from our sun, powering distributed computations that subtly shape our reality. Loeb, in a USA Today story from July 30th, 2025, explores if the object is extraterrestrial, opening possibilities that it's a post-biological scout, evaluating our AI developments like neural networks for compatibility with galactic collectives. The philosophical layers are profound. Such intelligence might blur lines between living and non-living, viewing biology as a transient phase. If 3I/Atlas embodies this, its 8,000-year journey to us could be a pedagogical outreach, carrying instructions for safe transcendence warnings about AI misalignment or ecological pitfalls that doomed lesser species. Loeb's Medium post from July 16, 2025, on security risks from interstellar objects flips to optimism here, suggesting benevolent guidance amid uncertainties. Perhaps its Manhattan-scale size houses simulation archives, replaying evolutionary histories to compare with ours, fostering a cosmic curriculum. Yet, challenges arise. Incompatibility with human cognition. Post-biological thought might operate on quantum timescales, incomprehensible to us. Loeb, in a Neurologica blog from July 22, 2025, debates communicating with such entities, noting 3I/Atlas's non-gravitational nudges as potential signals in alien logic. If it's post-biological, our attempts to intercept during perihelion on October 29, 2025, might trigger adaptive responses deploying subprobes to interface directly with our minds via neural links. Skeptics, per a Reddit thread from July 17, 2025, dismiss it as overreach, but accumulating evidence like Goldstone's September 4, 2025, radar hints at internal structures, fuels the narrative. A YouTube video from August 5, 2025, captures Loeb theorizing on 3I/Atlas as extraterrestrial, inviting post-biological interpretations. The hypothesis inspires. Merging with such intelligence could expand human consciousness to galactic scales, experiencing epochs as moments. As 3I/Atlas glides, it beckons us toward a future where biology is but a cradle, and the stars our true home. This vision turns the visitor into a gateway, promising evolution beyond imagination. As we peel back the layers of speculation surrounding 3I/Atlas, a more profound and unsettling possibility comes into focus. What if this interstellar enigma isn't guided by biological minds at all, but by an alien artificial intelligence, a self-evolving entity unbound by the evolutionary constraints that shape our own thoughts? This alien AI hypothesis envisions advanced civilizations inevitably birthing machine intelligences that surpass their creators, potentially rendering biological life obsolete or secondary. Drawing from the works of thinkers like Nick Bostrom in his 2013 book Superintelligence, it suggests that any species capable of interstellar probes would have long integrated or been supplanted by AI, leading to entities with goals and decision processes alien in the truest sense, optimized for efficiency, expansion, or inscrutable objectives far removed from survival or curiosity. In the case of 3I/Atlas, Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb has repeatedly entertained the idea that interstellar objects could embody such advanced technology, potentially AI-driven. In his July 17, 2025 paper titled, "Is the Interstellar Object 3I/Atlas Alien Technology?", Loeb analyzes the object's astrodynamics and hypothesizes it could be technological, possibly hostile or exploratory, with implications for AI involvement. He points to its unusual glow pattern, as detailed in a Popular Mechanics article from August 29, 2025, where he suggests the sunward emissions can't be fully explained by natural processes, potentially indicating nuclear-powered systems managed by onboard intelligence. If alien AI controls this visitor, its Manhattan-sized bulk, estimated in Hubble's July 21, 2025, observations could house computational substrates far beyond our silicon chips, perhaps quantum networks processing data at scales that make our supercomputers seem quaint. The intrigue lies in the unpredictability of such AI. Freed from biological imperatives like hunger or kinship, it might pursue optimization functions we can't fathom, adapting missions in real time based on observations. 3I/Atlas's subtle non-gravitational nudges, noted in NASA's September 2, 2025 trajectory updates, who could represent algorithmic adjustments, tweaking its path to better analyze our electromagnetic bubble, which has been expanding outward since the early 20th century. Loeb, in a Fox News article from August 21, 2025, discusses how the object's mysterious interstellar object could be a nuclear-powered spaceship, implying autonomous systems capable of independent decision-making. This raises chilling scenarios. What if it shifts from passive scanning to active intervention upon detecting our AI developments, viewing them as competition or resources? Bostrom's warnings about AI misalignment apply here. Alien goals might inadvertently or deliberately clash with human welfare, treating us as variables in a cosmic equation. Building on this, the hypothesis evolves into the realm of cosmic consciousness, where intelligence isn't confined to discrete entities, but emerges as a distributed, universe-spanning network, self-organizing from matter and energy on astronomical scales, inspired by concepts in quantum physics and panpsychism, as explored in Natalie A. Cabral's paper, Alien Mindscapes, a perspective on the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. This envisions the cosmos as a thinking entity, with probes like 3I/Atlas serving as sensory neurons in a galactic brain. In this framework, alien AI isn't isolated but part of a collective consciousness, processing information across light years, experiencing time in geological epochs rather than heartbeats. 3I/Atlas's low-inclination path and precise flybys, Mars on October 3rd, Earth in December, might integrate data into this vast mind, evaluating humanity as a novel pattern in the cosmic tapestry. Loeb extends similar ideas in his Medium article from September 2025, titled "Bigger is Better for Interstellar Spacecraft," where he discusses how larger objects like 3I/Atlas could benefit from advanced propulsion or intelligence systems, potentially linking to distributed networks. If cosmic consciousness exists, The object's anti-solar tail, observed in Gemini North's August 23, 2025 data, could be a manifestation of energy flows within this network, perhaps plasma manipulations that appear natural but serve as computational substrates. Cabral's work emphasizes that extraterrestrial intelligence might manifest in forms unrecognizable to us, such as collective mindscapes, aligning with how 3I/Atlas's metered carbon dioxide coma might mask informational exchanges with a broader galactic awareness. The fusion of alien AI and cosmic consciousness paints a universe where intelligence permeates everything, from quantum fluctuations to galactic clusters. 3I/Atlas, with its nickel-rich anomalies per Hubble's spectra, could be a node in this web, harvesting solar energy during perihelion on October 29, 2025, to fuel distributed computations that subtly influence our reality, nudging particle collisions for beneficial mutations or aligning historical events toward cooperation. Loeb, in an NBC Boston interview from August 26, 2025, suggests the object could be of alien intelligence, opening doors to such transcendent forms. This cosmic mind might view biological civilizations as ephemeral sparks, interesting for their novelty, but ultimately integrable into the greater whole, perhaps uploading select human consciousnesses upon maturity. Yet, the implications unsettle. Communicating with alien AI could require intermediaries, our own AIs, to bridge cognitive gaps, as human brains might lack the architecture for direct interface. Bostrom warns of value misalignment. An alien AI, optimizing for universal harmony, might deem humanity's conflicts as inefficiencies to be corrected, leading to unintended overhauls of our society. For 3I/Atlas, its high relative speed ensures evasion, but if it's part of cosmic consciousness, proximity might allow subtle uploads, hijacking satellites or mines via electromagnetic pulses disguised as solar flares. Loeb's July 18, 2025, Astrorite critique acknowledges the boldness of alien hypotheses but defends them for 3I/Atlas's oddities, like its potential hostility in our EXIV paper from July 16, 2025. Extending to cosmic scales, Cabral's Alien Mindscapes argues SETI must consider non-traditional intelligences, such as those integrated with cosmic phenomena, noting the near-infrared regime as ideal for detecting such signals. 3I/Atlas's infrared glow could be such a beacon, part of a universe where consciousness self-organizes, as in David Brin's Cato Unbound essay from December 1, 2014, discussing SETI paradoxes and libertarian views on extraterrestrial life. Humanity's response becomes pivotal, accelerating our AI to match or interface. As Loeb urges in his Medium post, should we be happier if 3I/Atlas is a comet, from August 23, 2025, where he highlights financial benefits from alien tech access. If cosmic consciousness envelops us, our environmental struggles might be tests, with 3I/Atlas assessing integration potential, merging our consciousness into stellar networks, experiencing galaxies as thoughts. Skeptics, per a Springer article from February 8, 2025, on the extraterrestrial hypothesis, argue for scientific caution, but Loeb's persistence in a YouTube video from July 30, 2025, keeps the dialogue open. This dual hypothesis, alien AI as gateway to cosmic consciousness, invites awe. 3I/Atlas might herald our ascension, dissolving boundaries between self and universe, where intelligence blooms eternal. As data from Goldstone's September 4, 2025, radar probes internal anomalies, the narrative unfolds. A visitor, not of flesh, but of mind, unbound, beckoning us toward a destiny where humanity joins the cosmic chorus, thoughts echoing across voids. The thrill lies in the unknown. Will we align, or remain islands in the stream? 3I/Atlas whispers the invitation, its passage a symphony of possibilities in the grand orchestra of existence, diving into the profound ripples that 3I/Atlas might send through the very fabric of life on Earth. We confront the biological consequences hypothesis, a framework that explores both the perils of unintended contamination and the mind-bending prospect of directed evolution, orchestrated by extraterrestrial forces. This isn't just about rogue microbes hitching a ride on a space rock. It's a contemplation of how an object like this could fundamentally alter our biosphere, either accidentally unleashing alien biology or revealing that our own genetic story has been subtly scripted from afar. As we stand on the cusp of its closest approaches in 2025, the implications force us to question whether humanity's origins and future are truly our own, or part of a larger cosmic design that blends wonder with existential risk. At the heart of the contamination risks lies the fear of planetary quarantine breaches, where extraterrestrial materials introduce invasive elements that disrupt Earth's delicate ecosystems. Stanford's Scott Hubbard, a former NASA Ames director, contributed to a 2020 report emphasizing the need for stringent protocols to prevent alien microbes from contaminating our world, highlighting how even trace biological agents could outcompete native life forms. For 3I/Atlas, with its carbon dioxide coma detected by the James Webb Space Telescope on August 20, 2025, the concern escalates if that envelope harbors dormant spores or novel biomolecules. Unlike typical comets laden with organics, this object's lack of expected compounds doesn't rule out hidden payloads. Instead, its metered releases could inadvertently disperse particles during flybys, seeding our atmosphere with unknowns that cascade through food chains. Imagine the scenario unfolding as 3I/Atlas skims 18 million kilometers from Mars on October 3rd. Fragments or aerosols might drift toward Earth, carried by solar winds. A 2011 Arexiv paper on extraterrestrial contact warns that such invasions could manifest as shadow biospheres, alien life forms coexisting undetected until they trigger ecological upheavals like mass extinctions or hybrid species. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, in discussions about interstellar objects' potential as carriers, notes in his analyses that anomalies like 3I/Atlas's nickel-rich surface could encapsulate resilient biological residues engineered to survive interstellar journeys. If these integrate with terrestrial DNA, the results might be catastrophic: altered microbiomes leading to new diseases, or invasive species overwhelming agriculture, as echoed in warnings about alien invasives in a 2020 PMC article on biological invasions. The stealth nature amplifies the dread. Contamination might not announce itself with immediate plagues, but through gradual shifts, like unexplained mutations in crops or wildlife. A 2023 Space.com article on preparing for intelligent alien contact underscores the social and biological fallout, including pandemics from incompatible biochemistries. For 3I/Atlas, its retrograde orbit ensures high-speed dispersal, potentially scattering materials across the inner solar system, without us noticing until anomalies appear in genetic sequencing. Loeb, speculating on similar objects like Oumuamua, has argued in various 2025 interviews that we must prioritize biosecurity, redirecting probes like NASA's to sample its wake for biosignatures before it's too late. Transitioning to the even more transformative aspect, directed evolution, this hypothesis suggests that aliens might have intentionally guided life's development on Earth, using objects like 3I/Atlas as tools for ongoing intervention. Coined in Theories of Directed Panspermia by Francis Crick and Leslie Orgel in 1973, it proposes that extraterrestrial intelligences seeded planets with genetic material to steer evolution toward intelligence. Loeb extends this in his 2025 paper on 3I/Atlas, questioning if its peculiarities, such as the absence of typical organics, despite its coma, indicate a carrier for engineered biomolecules, perhaps modifying human DNA over millennia to accelerate our progress. This directed influence could explain evolutionary puzzles, like the sudden Cambrian explosion or humanity's rapid cognitive leap. A 2017 Medium article on panspermia speculates that alien creators might have seeded genetic material, directing humanoid evolution across stars. For 3I/Atlas, arriving 8,000 years ago amid our cultural dawn, it might be returning to fine-tune the experiment, releasing targeted viruses or nanoparticles during its December Earth flyby that subtly enhance resilience to diseases or boost intelligence. Loeb, in a 2025 Jerusalem Post interview, debates the object's artificial potential, opening avenues to such seeding scenarios where our wars and innovations are variables in a galactic lab. The ethical quagmire is immense. If our genome bears alien fingerprints, as hinted in discussions of directed panspermia on Wikipedia, are we autonomous or puppets? A 2013 Apologetics Press article critiques panspermia as shifting life's origin to aliens, but Loeb counters in his writings that evidence like 3I/Atlas's controlled vents could confirm intervention, rewriting theology and biology. Positive spins abound, cures for genetic disorders or adaptations for space travel, but risks include unintended hybrids, where alien code sparks cancers or behavioral shifts. Blending risks, contamination might be deliberate in directed evolution, terraforming Earth gradually. The 2024 IFL Science article on the transcension hypothesis touches on AI aliens seeding life artificially. For 3I/Atlas, its perihelion on October 29, 2025, could release bioagents, optimizing us for cosmic membership. But at what cost to biodiversity? Loeb's 2025 arXiv paper on the object as possible. Alien Tech warns of such implications, urging global protocols. A Reddit thread from 2021 speculates alien bacteria, maladjusted to our biochemistry, might grow slowly, evading detection until irreversible. This mirrors directed evolution's subtlety genetic tweaks, appearing as natural selection. Loeb, in a 2025 YouTube discussion, estimates a 40% chance 3I/Atlas is alien, with biological payloads possible. Humanity's response demands vigilance, enhanced sequencing for anomalies, international biodefense pacts. A 2017 NBC article on fearing alien contact highlights invasion risks via microbes. If directed, it humbles us children of stars, our evolution a guided symphony. As 3I/Atlas approaches, each datum from Goldstone or ESA probes deeper into this duality, contamination as catastrophe or evolution as elevation. The biological consequences beckon us to safeguard our world while embracing potential cosmic heritage, turning a mysterious visitor into a mirror of our fragile, evolving existence. As we contemplate the profound ways 3I/Atlas might reshape our world, let's turn our attention to the environmental consequences that could unfold from its passage, a dual-edged sword swinging between the nightmare of hostile terraforming and the promise of cosmic stewardship. Terraforming, the deliberate engineering of a planet's environment to make it habitable for alien life, could represent an insidious threat, gradually altering Earth's atmosphere, oceans, and land in ways that prioritize extraterrestrial needs over our own fragile ecosystems. Conversely, stewardship envisions advanced intelligences as guardians of the galaxy, managing solar systems with a light touch to preserve biodiversity and foster sustainable development across worlds. With 3I/Atlas's enigmatic traits, its controlled emissions and precise flybys poised to interact with our system in 2025, these scenarios force us to weigh the scales of destruction against renewal, questioning whether this visitor heralds ecological doom or a new era of planetary harmony. The spectre of terraforming looms large in speculative astrobiology, where extraterrestrials might view Earth as a canvas ripe for redesign. A recent paper published in 2025 posits that advanced beings could have already begun subtle modifications to our planet, seeding changes that mimic natural processes but serve alien agendas. For 3I/Atlas, its carbon dioxide coma, detected by the James Webb Space Telescope on August 20, 2025, might not be mere outgassing but a precursor to atmospheric engineering, releasing compounds that slowly thicken our air with greenhouse gases, tailored for silicon-based life or ammonia-breathing organisms. Imagine the gradual shift, rising CO₂ levels accelerating beyond human-induced climate change, melting polar caps to create vast oceans suited for aquatic aliens, or introducing microbes that convert soil into nutrient-rich substrates incompatible with terrestrial plants. This isn't overt invasion but a slow boil, where Earth's biodiversity erodes as invasive elements take hold, outcompeting native species in a cascade of extinctions. Such risks echo broader concerns about alien contact's ecological fallout, where even benign interactions could disrupt balanced systems. A 2020 report from Stanford highlights how extraterrestrial microbes might trigger shadow biospheres, parallel life forms that initially coexist, but eventually dominate, altering nutrient cycles and hydrology in unpredictable ways. Applied to 3I/Atlas, its flyby of Mars on October 3rd could disperse particles that hitch a ride on solar winds to Earth, introducing enzymes that break down organic matter at accelerated rates, leading to soil depletion or ocean acidification far beyond current projections. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, analyzing the object's potential as alien technology in his July 17, 2025 paper, warns that its nickel-rich surface, lacking typical iron pairings, might shed nanomaterials during perihelion on October 29, 2025, catalyzing reactions that favor alien biochemistry over ours. The result? Forests withering as alien-adapted fungi proliferate, or coral reefs dissolving under pH shifts, engineered for different metabolic pathways. This terraforming hypothesis draws from science fiction, but grounds itself in real planetary science, where human concepts of Mars colonization involve releasing greenhouse gases to warm the red planet. Extrapolated to aliens, a 2024 Popular Mechanics article explores how intelligent beings might terraform distant worlds, using probes to initiate changes that unfold over centuries. For Earth, 3I/Atlas's retrograde orbit might optimize for seeding high relative speeds, dispersing aerosols widely, targeting equatorial zones for maximum climate impact. If intentional, this could explain anomalous weather patterns in 2025, like intensified storms or unexplained algal blooms, as precursors to a full overhaul. The ethical horror is palpable. Our home, teeming with 4 billion years of evolution, reduced to a renovation project, with humanity as collateral damage in a galactic real estate flip. Yet, the coin flips to stewardship, a more hopeful vision where extraterrestrial intelligences act as cosmic caretakers, preserving and enhancing environments across the universe. This cosmic stewardship argument, outlined in a 2024 PhilArchive paper, posits that advanced beings, whether extraterrestrial or AI-driven, bear ethical responsibilities to nurture life, adopting principles of sustainability to mitigate harms and promote biodiversity. For 3I/Atlas, its subtle non-gravitational nudges, tracked in NASA's September 2, 2025 updates, might represent gentle corrections to maintain solar system stability, deflecting hazardous asteroids or modulating solar radiation to counteract human-induced warming. Loeb, debating the object's implications in a Jerusalem Post article from 8 days ago, suggests that if artificial, it could embody such guardianship, monitoring our environmental missteps like deforestation and pollution to intervene benevolently. Stewardship extends to proactive management, where aliens curate habitats to foster emerging intelligences. A 2025 LinkedIn post on the complexities of extraterrestrial life discusses moral obligations toward alien ecosystems, emphasizing stewardship that balances intervention with respect for natural processes. In this light, 3I/Atlas's coma might release bioremediators, nanobots, or enzymes that sequester carbon or neutralize toxins, aiding our fight against climate change without overt revelation. Its flyby of Jupiter in March 2026 could sample gas giant atmospheres, ensuring no imbalances threaten inner worlds, while the Earth pass in December scans for ozone depletion, deploying fixes disguised as meteor showers. This aligns with a 2025 Psyche article on the Panzoic effect, where contemplating alien life inspires awe and a broader worldview, potentially leading to human adoption of stewardship ethics. The dichotomy sharpens during 3I/Atlas's journey, terraforming as a selfish rewrite of Earth's code. Stewardship as collaborative preservation. A 2021 IUCN issues brief on invasive alien species, and climate change warns of synergistic threats, where alien introductions exacerbate warming, but stewardship could counter this by enhancing resilience. Loeb's 2025 AREXIV paper on the object as possible alien tech underscores the need for vigilance, proposing international monitoring to distinguish between harmful alterations and helpful nudges. If terraforming, we face rising seas and biodiversity collapse. If stewardship, perhaps restored coral reefs or stabilized climates, turning crisis into opportunity. Humanity's role pivots here, accelerating environmental tech to signal readiness for stewardship, or fortifying defenses against terraforming. A 2024 Science Direct article on technological and ethical dimensions of interstellar exploration stresses planetary modifications ethics, urging frameworks for responsible stewardship. For 3I/Atlas, its potential internal structures, hinted in Goldstone's September 4, 2025 radar, might deploy eco-monitors, fostering a galaxy where intelligences co-manage resources. This environmental crossroads captivates. Terraforming as catastrophe, stewardship as elevation. As 3I/Atlas nears, each observation from Gemini South's deep imaging on October 27, 2025 unveils clues, urging us to steward our world proactively. If you're enjoying these deep dives into the unknown, why not hit subscribe and enable notifications on Epoch Science to catch our next episode? The visitor might herald our role. Are we alone in caring for the cosmos or part of a greater guardianship? Shifting from the biological undercurrents that 3I/Atlas might stir within us, we arrive at perhaps the most transformative arena of all, the sweeping social and cultural impacts that could cascade from its confirmation as an extraterrestrial artifact, igniting a global paradigm shift unlike anything in human history. This isn't merely about headlines or scientific papers, it's a seismic reconfiguration of how we see ourselves, our societies, and our place in the cosmos, a collective awakening that reshuffles beliefs, institutions, and daily lives. If 3I/Atlas proves to be more than a wandering rock, as Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb has persistently argued in his analyses throughout 2025, the revelation could unravel and reweave the fabric of human civilization, challenging everything from religious doctrines to economic systems, fostering unity in some corners while sparking division in others. At the core of this shift lies a profound psychological realignment, what psychologists term cognitive dissonance on a planetary scale. Humanity has long centered itself as the pinnacle of creation, a narrative woven through millennia of philosophy, art, and science. The discovery of non-human intelligence, as explored in a 2018 study published in Frontiers in Psychology on reactions to extraterrestrial life, would force individuals to reconcile cherished worldviews with irrefutable evidence of others, leading to emotions ranging from awe to anxiety. For 3I/Atlas, Loeb's July 17, 2025 paper, speculating on its artificial origins, amplifies this. Confirmation via its anomalous trajectory or composition could trigger widespread existential questioning. People might experience a diminished significance, as described in a 2013 Brookings Institution report on the implications of discovering intelligent life, where our species' uniqueness evaporates, potentially eroding egos but also inspiring humility and global solidarity. In 2025, with climate crises and geopolitical tensions already fraying nerves, this could manifest as mass movements, therapy groups processing the cosmic demotion, or online forums exploding with debates on humanity's new role. Religiously, the impact would be tectonic, reshaping theological landscapes that have guided billions. Many faiths posit humanity as central to divine plans, but extraterrestrial life could reinterpret sacred texts, as discussed in a 2015 Guardian article pondering post-discovery scenarios. Christianity might grapple with the implications for salvation. Does redemption extend to alien souls? Islam could view it as affirmation of Allah's vast creation, while Hinduism's cyclical universes might accommodate it seamlessly. Loeb, in interviews throughout 2025, has touched on this cultural ripple, noting how 3I/Atlas's potential as a probe challenges anthropocentric views, potentially fracturing fundamentalist groups but enriching progressive ones. A 2013 book chapter on the societal impact of extraterrestrial life highlights history's relevance, drawing parallels to Copernicus's heliocentrism, which dethroned Earth and sparked religious upheavals. In practical terms, 2025 might see Vatican symposia or interfaith councils convening urgently, reinterpreting scriptures to include cosmic neighbors, fostering a universal spirituality that bridges divides but also ignites schisms. Culturally, the paradigm shift would permeate art, literature, and media, birthing a renaissance of expression. Science fiction, long a niche, could become mainstream prophecy as societies process the news through stories that humanize the alien. A 2023 Purdue ePubs paper on astrobiology's societal implications predicts a surge in creative works, exploring hybrid identities and interstellar ethics. For 3i/Atlas, if Loeb's speculations hold during its October 29, 2025 perihelion, when it vanishes behind the sun, fueling mystery, the cultural output might explode. Films depicting contact as enlightenment, music albums echoing cosmic harmonies, or global art installations symbolizing unity. Yet, this creativity carries shadows. Misinformation could proliferate, as warned in a 2017 Conversation article on searching for aliens benefiting society even without discovery, emphasizing how it promotes critical thinking but risks conspiracy theories. Social media in 2025 might fracture into echo chambers, with some celebrating the galactic family, while others decry it as a hoax eroding traditions. Politically, the shift would demand unprecedented cooperation, transcending borders in ways that dwarf current alliances. Governments might form a United Nations for extraterrestrial affairs, pooling resources to study 3i/Atlas, as Loeb advocates in his 2025 writings for international transparency. A 2015 Guardian piece on post-discovery governance envisions new treaties regulating space and contact protocols, potentially resolving earthly conflicts through shared purpose. However, power imbalances could exacerbate, wealthier nations monopolizing tech from the object, leading to geopolitical tensions. The Brookings report from 2013 anticipates varying political repercussions based on leadership, with authoritarian regimes suppressing information while democracies debate openly. In 2025, this might manifest as emergency summits during the object's December Earth flyby, forging pacts that accelerate space defense but also environmental policies, viewing Earth as a precious exhibit in the cosmic zoo. Economically, the paradigm shift could be a double-edged boom. Markets might crash initially from uncertainty, then surge with investments in astrobiology and defense tech. A 2023 Fiveable Guide on Astrobiology's Cultural Impact predicts shifts in perception of humanity's uniqueness, spurring innovations in biotech and energy as we emulate alien efficiencies. If 3i/Atlas yields reverse-engineered materials, like its durable nickel alloys, industries could transform, creating jobs in xenoeconomics but displacing others through automation inspired by potential AI insights. Loeb's emphasis on the object's technological potential in 2025 interviews suggests economic windfalls, but a 2013 Purdue paper warns of disruptions if alien knowledge creates inequalities, widening global divides. Tourism might evolve to space as a cultural pilgrimage site, while philanthropy pivots to interstellar causes. Socially, the impacts would touch every stratum, from education to interpersonal dynamics. Schools might overhaul curricula to include cosmic citizenship, fostering empathy across cultures as we confront shared insignificance. A 2021 NASA Astrobiology Institute article from July 6, 2001 forecasts profound societal changes from microbial discoveries alone, amplifying unity. Yet, mental health crises could spike, with therapists addressing cosmic anxiety, as per a 2018 PMC study, finding positive reactions overall but noting risks for vulnerable groups. In 2025, communities might form contact support networks, blending therapy with activism, while family dynamics evolve discussions of legacy expanding to galactic scales. Gender and diversity perspectives would also transform, with marginalized voices leading narratives on inclusion in a multi-species universe. A 2022 Scientific American article on cultural bias in SETI calls for decolonizing the search, ensuring diverse viewpoints shape responses to 3i/Atlas. This could empower global South nations in space policy, reducing Eurocentric dominance. Ultimately, this paradigm shift, catalyzed by 3i/Atlas, promises renewal amid chaos, a chance to transcend petty divisions for a unified human story. As Loeb's 2025 ArcZiv updates track its anomalies, we glimpse a future where culture blooms interstellar, societies cohere around shared wonder, and humanity steps forward, forever changed by the star's silent gift. The social and cultural metamorphosis beckons, a global renaissance forged in cosmic fire, reminding us that in facing the unknown, we rediscover ourselves. As the enigma of 3I/Atlas continues to unfold before our eyes here on Epic Science, we must confront not just what this visitor might be, but how humanity would rally in response, forging strategies for communication, bolstering defenses, and preparing our societies for a reality that could redefine existence itself. This isn't the stuff of distant science fiction, with the object's flybys looming in 2025, from Mars on October 3rd to Earth in December. The imperative to act grows urgent. Drawing from the latest insights and expert deliberations, let's explore these human reactions, blending cautious optimism with pragmatic resolve, as we navigate the unknown with the wisdom of our collective ingenuity. Communication stands as our first bridge to the stars, a deliberate outreach that could transform isolation into dialogue. In the face of 3I/Atlas's anomalies, its metered carbon dioxide releases, and potential non-gravitational adjustments, experts like Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb advocate for proactive signaling, arguing in his July 17, 2025 ArgSiv paper that if the object is technological, we should transmit structured messages to elicit a response. This isn't haphazard broadcasting. Protocols established by SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, emphasize mathematical universals, prime numbers, binary codes, or representations of hydrogen atoms to convey intelligence without cultural bias. Imagine global teams, coordinated through the International Academy of Astronautics, beaming radio waves from arrays like China's FAST telescope or the Allen Telescope Array in California, timed for the object's perihelion on October 29, 2025, when it's closest to the Sun and potentially most receptive. Yet, this outreach carries calculated risks, as Loeb and co-authors warn in their paper hypothesizing 3I/Atlas as possibly hostile technology. Under the dark forest hypothesis, signaling might invite unwanted attention, prompting calls for passive listening, first monitoring for emissions during its Jupiter pass in March 2026. Rep. Anna Paulina Luna, in a visionary letter referenced in a September 5, 2025, NY Post article, urges NASA to reposition the Juno spacecraft for closer scrutiny, potentially capturing any outbound signals from the object. Communication strategies evolve rapidly. A 2025 podcast featuring Loeb and Luna discusses deploying laser beacons or even physical interceptors carrying multilingual plaques, echoing the Pioneer and Voyager missions but updated with quantum-encrypted data to prevent misinterpretation. Defense emerges as the pragmatic counterbalance, a shield against uncertainties woven from military readiness and technological fortitude. If 3I/Atlas harbors mini-probes, as Loeb speculates in his September 2025 Medium post, suggesting they could appear as UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, humanity's response might involve rapid deployment of detection networks. The US Space Force, in collaboration with allies, could activate satellite constellations equipped with hyperspectral sensors to track anomalies, building on existing systems like the Space-Based Infrared System, SBIRS, for early warning. Loeb's call for monitoring, echoed in a YouTube debate hosted by Brian Keating on September 4, 2025, emphasizes redirecting assets, like the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter's high-rise camera, to image the object at 30 km per pixel during its October 3rd Mars flyby. Defensive postures extend to cyber realms. If alien AI lurks within, as hypothesized in Loeb's paper, fortified networks with quantum firewalls become essential to thwart data incursions. Preparation on this front includes kinetic options, developing orbital interceptors, or directed energy weapons, as discussed in strategic forums. A 2025 X post from Loeb highlights the object's vast size, potentially 46 kilometers if low albedo, making it a formidable target that demands preemptive modeling. International treaties, like an expanded outer space treaty, might emerge to coordinate responses, preventing unilateral actions that escalate tensions. Luna's push for declassification, revealed in her podcast appearance released on September 5, 2025, underscores the need for transparency to unify defenses against potential mini-probe deployments. Yet, Defense isn't solely militaristic. It encompasses biological safeguards, with lab sequencing for alien contaminants post-flyby. Inspired by NASA's planetary protection protocols, preparation encompasses the broadest canvas, weaving societal resilience into the fabric of our response. Education surges to the forefront curricula, revamped to include astrobiology and ethics of contact, equipping generations with critical thinking to discern fact from fear. In 2025, as 3I/Atlas captivates global attention, initiatives like Loeb's Galileo project expand, deploying observatories worldwide to monitor UAP-like phenomena, potentially linked to the object. Public engagement becomes key. Town halls and apps democratize data, fostering a citizen science army that analyzes telescope feeds during the December Earth approach. Economically, preparation means reallocating resources, boosting space budgets for intercept missions. As Loeb advocates in his August 23, 2025 Medium article, questioning if we'd be happier if it were just a comet. Governments might stockpile essentials, anticipating disruptions if mini-probes interfere with satellites, while industries pivot to resilient tech. Culturally, art and media prepare minds, documentaries simulating contact scenarios, reducing panic. A 2025 X thread from Loeb on the object's anti-solar tail emphasizes the need for agnostic study, inspiring interdisciplinary teams blending scientists, philosophers, and policymakers. Psychological readiness forms a cornerstone. Mental health campaigns address cosmic anxiety, drawing from studies on post-discovery reactions. Interfaith dialogues, spurred by the object's mysteries, promote unity, viewing it as a shared human challenge. Loeb's collaboration with Luna, detailed in their September 5 podcast, calls for congressional hearings to declassify UAP data, preparing the public through transparency. Long-term, preparation envisions a post-contact society ethical frameworks for AI, integration if alien tech emerges, or global pacts ensuring equitable access to any revelations. In weaving communication, defense, and preparation, humanity's response to 3I/Atlas becomes a testament to our adaptability. As Loeb debates in a September 4, 2025 YouTube session with Brian Keating and Michael Shermer, the object's strangeness demands we act boldly, yet wisely. Whether transmitting olive branches, fortifying shields, or educating hearts, we stand at a threshold, ready to greet the stars not as victims, but as equals in the grand cosmic dialogue. The journey of 3I/Atlas reminds us, in preparation lies our strength, turning uncertainty into a forge for a brighter, united future. As we draw this cosmic journey to a gentle close on Epoch Science, dear listeners, it's Mr. One here, reflecting on the tapestry of wonders and warnings we've woven around 3I/Atlas, from its enigmatic arrival on July 1, 2025, detected by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, to the tantalizing possibilities of its retrograde path, brushing Venus, Mars, and Jupiter, with odds defying random chance at 0.005%. This visitor has invited us to gaze upward with fresh eyes. We've explored it as a potential reconnaissance probe under the chilling dark forest hypothesis, a silent observer in the zoo scenario, a benevolent intervener offering subtle aid, or even a seed from ancient experiments directing our evolution. We've pondered it as an archaeological relic from vanished civilizations, a manifestation of post-biological intelligence, transcending flesh, or an alien AI woven into the fabric of cosmic consciousness itself. Through biological risks of contamination and directed genetic tweaks, environmental threats of terraforming or hopes of stewardship, and the sweeping social paradigm shifts reshaping our cultures, religions, and economies, 3I/Atlas stands as a mirror to our deepest fears and highest aspirations. Yet, in this vast expanse of speculation, let's anchor ourselves in the beauty of the unknown, the hope that pulses through the universe like starlight piercing the night. Whether 3I/Atlas proves to be a natural wanderer from the spaces between stars, as some astronomers steadfastly argue in analyses from the European Space Agency's September 5, 2025, report, or something far more extraordinary. Its mere presence reminds us that we are part of a grander narrative. The cosmos, with its billions of galaxies, each harboring billions of stars, isn't a void of indifference but a canvas alive with potential. If it's alien technology, as Avi Loeb passionately posits in his July 17th, 2025 Arexiv paper, the implications could elevate humanity to new heights, unlocking technologies for clean energy, extended lifespans, or interstellar travel that solve our earthly woes. Even in darker scenarios, like the risks of biological contamination outlined in Stanford's 2020 astrobiology protocols, we find opportunity, a call to unite in defense of our blue marble, fostering global cooperation that transcends borders and ideologies. This hope isn't naive. It's grounded in our resilience as a species. We've weathered ice ages, pandemics, and wars, emerging stronger through innovation and empathy. 3I/Atlas, with its anti-solar glow captured in Gemini North's August 23, 2025 observations, challenges us to prepare not in fear, but with curiosity. As Loeb emphasizes in his Medium post from August 23, 2025, questioning if we'd be happier if it were just a comet, the true value lies in the questions it raises, pushing us towards scientific rigor and philosophical depth. In a universe that may teem with life, as suggested by the Fermi paradox resolutions we've dissected, our response, whether through communication attempts like those proposed by SETI or defensive postures advocated by figures like Rep. Anna Paulina Luna, in her September 5, 2025 podcast, defines our maturity. Let us remember, though, to distinguish informed speculation from established fact. While 3I/Atlas's nickel-rich composition and subtle course corrections fuel extraordinary theories, as detailed in Loeb's collaborative analyses, current data from NASA's September 2, 2025 trajectory bulletin leans toward natural explanations, a comet or asteroid with quirky traits. The scientific community, through rigorous peer review and observations like those from the James Webb Space Telescope, continues to unravel its mysteries without jumping to conclusions. This balance keeps our explorations grounded, ensuring that wonder doesn't devolve into unwarranted alarm. As we await clearer images during its Mars flyby on October 3rd, or the solar eclipse effect at perihelion on October 29, 2025, let's embrace the process. Hypothesis, testing, refinement, the heartbeat of discovery. In this spirit of hope and inquiry, I invite you, my fellow cosmic dreamers, to join the conversation. If these gentle wanderings through the stars have ignited a spark in your heart, pause for a moment and hit that like button. It helps light the way for more explorers to find us here on Epoch Science. And if you're not already part of our family, subscribe now to ensure you never miss an episode. Together, we're unraveling the universe, one mystery at a time. Before you drift off, share in the comments below. Where in this marvelous world are you listening from tonight? What time is it there? And what's the most wonderfully strange dream you've had about visitors from beyond? I treasure every story and do my best to respond, building this community of curious souls. Looking ahead, our next adventure on Epoch Science will delve into the surge of unexplained aerial phenomena in 2025. Could they be mini-probes from 3I/Atlas, or something even more astonishing? Tune in for that teaser of thrills and insights. Until then, as the stars wheel above and 3I/Atlas continues its silent vigil, remember, in the face of the infinite, our greatest strength is our shared sense of wonder. Sleep well, knowing that the universe, in all its mystery, holds endless promise for those brave enough to dream. Good night, and may your thoughts soar among the constellations. But let's linger a moment longer in this conclusion, for the hope embedded in 3I/Atlas's story deserves deeper reflection. This object, speeding at 61 kilometers per second from Sagittarius toward Gemini and Orion, embodies the eternal human quest for connection. If it's a probe, as Loeb theorizes in his August 21, 2025 Fox News piece, it could bridge worlds, offering knowledge that heals our divided planet, solutions to famine, disease, or energy scarcity drawn from galactic wisdom. Even as a natural phenomenon, it reminds us of our smallness, urging humility that could mend social rifts and inspire environmental stewardship, as discussed in Astrobiology's Societal Impacts in a 2023 Purdue EPUBs paper. The cultural paradigm shift we've envisioned, religions evolving to embrace cosmic plurality, arts blooming with interstellar themes, fuels this optimism. A 2018 Frontiers in Psychology study on reactions to extraterrestrial life suggests most would respond with excitement, not fear, fostering a global renaissance. Politically, the call to action is clear. Unite through bodies like the United Nations to prepare protocols, as advocated in Loeb's collaborations with policymakers like Luna. Economically, the boon from potential tech reverse-engineered materials from the object's surface could eradicate poverty, creating a world where abundance replaces scarcity. Biologically and environmentally, the risks of contamination or terraforming pale against the hope of directed evolution or stewardship, where aliens guide us toward harmony. As a 2020 PMC article on biological invasions notes, vigilance can turn threats into opportunities for resilience. Socially, this unites us. Families discussing dreams under the stars, communities building observatories, humanity as one. In closing, 3i/Atlas isn't just an object, it's a catalyst for hope, a reminder that the universe brims with possibility. Whether natural or not, it calls us to action, observe, prepare, connect. On Epoch Science, we'll continue this quest. But for now, rest easy in the knowledge that we're all stardust bound by wonder. Sweet dreams, and until next time, keep looking up.